Hey there, it's David Cinelli here, Realtor with Royal LePage Signature. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know I've talked about how the closing date, which is the day that the new buyers get their keys and the deed transfers from the old owners to the new owners, why that closing date can be very important to the seller. In fact, there's oftentimes a seller may take less money if they get the date they are looking for. Now, why exactly is that? Well, in today's Real Estate Educational Friday topic, we're going to discuss the reasons why that a seller may be looking for a specific date and why that date matters to them, and why it's also a key component in the whole negotiation process. Reason number one why closing date is important to the seller is mortgage penalties. If a seller sells a home before the mortgage is due and they're not able to transport that mortgage to another property, the seller will likely incur some costs, or what we call breaking the mortgage fee. And rule of thumb for how much this penalty would be is usually around 3 months. Now, like I said, it's rule of thumb. I personally had to pay close to $30,000 for breaking a mortgage for a home I sold a number of years back for around $800,000. So yeah, even though it's a rule of thumb, it doesn't apply to all situations. So we can't always assume that it's only about a 3-month penalty. Like I said, it could be much more. So if a seller is looking for a specific date, there is probably a good reason for that, and it may be a higher cost than you assume. The second reason is the amount of money that the seller has to pay for bridge financing. Many times, if you're able to transport that mortgage from one property to another, chances are the sellers have already purchased another home, which they're probably moving their stuff or planning to move their stuff into before this deal closes. Therefore, technically, they own 2 properties at this time. We do this for a number of reasons. Lawyers never really like to close on the same day because sometimes wire transfers don't always occur in the right time frame, and sometimes they don't occur at all on the same day they're supposed to. It's a rare case. But if you're in that boat, say you were supposed to get the keys to your new property today and you've already sold your property, all your stuff is in your moving van, and there was a delay from the bank getting the money to the lawyer's office, well, that means everything is going to have to be pushed back an additional day. Therefore, you're left homeless. So we try not to have both the closing dates of the buy and the sell on the same day. Because of these complications, we try not to have the closing on the same date, as I mentioned. So they may, set it up for the buy and sell to happen maybe a day or two apart from each other, sometimes a week, sometimes even longer. I've seen closings maybe from my clients that wanted to have at least a month that they had purchased a new home so they can renovate it and get it ready for them. So when they sold their home, they can move everything into their brand new home without any hitches. Again, it's up to you. Now, technically during that period, you do own 2 homes like I mentioned before. We are able to do this through the lending institution which is giving you the mortgage, and which is called bridge financing. You would qualify for bridge financing only if there is firm agreements both on the buy and the sell side. And again, it's kind of like a mortgage. You have to be approved for this bridge financing loan. But during this time that you own the 2 properties, what they do is they use equity from your existing home and they use that as collateral. And then they would charge you interest per day for the amount of days that you would need this bridge financing. So it is not really expensive, but it could be anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 and up. So yes, it does matter to the seller when the other property closes to mitigate the cost they would have to spend on this interest in the bridge financing loan. And the third reason why the date matters to a seller is if they have not found a place to live yet. Yes, if they haven't found new accommodations in which they have secured before they got into this agreement, they may be scrambling. So if you only give them maybe about a month or so and they haven't bought a new place or haven't rented a new spot, they might have to find short-term accommodations, which in the long run cost you way more money than it would be to secure a longer lease. Well, I hope you enjoyed this Real Estate Educational Friday topic. If you have any topics you wish for me to discuss, feel free to reach out. You can just call or text me at 416-876-9998 or email me at dcinelli@royallepage.ca. Happy home hunting.